My wife stared at the judge and said she wanted everything. House, car, savings, just not her son. I told my lawyer, give it all to her. The courtroom went silent. For a second, I could hear the old ceiling fan in the hallway outside the courtroom clicking like a loose blade on a summer porch. Even the bass stopped shifting his weight. Judge Klein's pen hovered over the paperwork like it had forgotten how to move. Linda sat up straight in her navy blazer hair, done the way she wore it for Facebook photos. Smooth, bright, not a strand out of place. She didn't look at me like a wife who'd spent 27 years watching me come home with concrete dust on my boots. She looked at me like I was an outdated appliance she'd finally decided to replace. On her side of the table, her attorney, Mara Keene, tilted her chin with that quiet confidence lawyers get when they think the math is simple. House, cars, accounts, retirement, and the one thing Linda didn't want to deal with, as she put it, our son Evan. My attorney, Tom Brereslin, leaned toward me so close I could smell his peppermint gum. He whispered through his teeth, "Rick, this is insane. She's overreaching. We fight this." I didn't turn my head. I kept my eyes on the corner of the table where someone had scratched a tiny heart into the wood years ago. I felt the weight of the courtroom, the way you feel the weight of a roof when you're standing in an attic. Everything above you held up by beams you can't see. "No," I said. Tom's eyebrows jumped. "Give it all to her." I repeated calm enough that my own voice surprised me, like I was ordering coffee. Linda's lips twitched. Not quite a smile, more like satisfaction, like she'd finally gotten what she believed she deserved. Judge Klein cleared his throat. "Mr. Holloway, I need to be sure you understand what you're agreeing to." "Understand," I said, because I did. People think a building inspector spends his life looking for problems in other people's houses. Rotten joists, CR. The hearing wasn't the end. Not really. It was a door closing, and I'd already walked through it in my head months ago, because this didn't start in that courtroom. It started 8 months earlier at 2:07 in the morning with a blue glow from Linda's phone lighting up our kitchen like a police siren. Back then, I still slept in the same bed as her. Still believed our life, plain, steady Ohio normal, was solid enough to last. I'd gotten up for water. It wasn't dramatic, just the way you do at 56 sneeze complaining bladder. Not as patient as it used to be. I patted down the hall in my socks, past the frame photos. Evan at 8 holding a bluegill at Cedar Creek Lake, Linda, and me at a Dayton Dragons game, sunburned and smiling. The kind of photos that make you think you know someone. The kitchen was dark except for that phone light. Linda was at the table, hunched over, thumbs moving fast. She didn't hear me at first. The air smelled faintly like her face cream lavender, expensive something she'd started buying after she found herself on Facebook groups full of women talking about reinvention. I stopped in the hallway, not trying to spy, just pausing because the way she held herself looked secretive, tight, like she was trying to keep something from spilling. The message on the screen wasn't hard to read from where I stood. Big white letters on a black background. "Can't wait to have my own play stage. You're going to look unstoppable." Then another one. "Once you're free, you won't have to drag dead weight around anymore." Dead weight. My throat went dry. My heart did that stupid thing where it tries to punch its way out of your ribs. Linda smiled at the screen. Not a polite smile. A real one. The kind I hadn't seen aimed at me in a long time. I backed up without making a sound, then turned and walked back down the hall like my legs belonged to someone else. In the bathroom, I stared at myself in the mirror. I looked like what I was, an older guy with crow's feet graying at the temples. The next day, I didn't confront her. That might sound weak. Maybe it was, but I've been in enough houses where people panic the minute you point at a crack. They start arguing, blaming patching with cheap filler painting over the stain. That doesn't fix the leak. So I did what I always do. I started inspecting. Not her phone again. Not right away. I inspected the life around me. The way Linda talked, the way she dressed, the new habits that didn't match the old ones. Linda began treating our home like inventory. She called it building the business like that made everything noble. Linda's home staging side hustle started small. "Just a few pieces, Rick," she'd said, waving a hand like she was shooing away a fly. "People pay good money for this. It's just temporary." Temporary turned into constant. The first thing that disappeared was the nice throw blanket Evan's grandma had crocheted. Then our better lamp. Then the set of dining chairs. I tightened the bolts on myself after Evan spilled milk on them when he was 5. Our living room started to look hollow. The best couch vanished one Saturday while Evan and I were out picking up parts from my old Ford at AutoZone. When we came back, there was a cheaper love seat in its place. The kind that sags in the middle like it's given up. Evan stood there with his backpack slung over one shoulder, staring at the room. "Where's the couch?" Linda breezed in behind us with a grin, holding a coffee from Starbucks like she'd won a prize. "It's at a client's. It's fine. This one works." Evan's eyes flicked to mine. He didn't say what I knew. He was thinking that our house was being emptied out piece by piece. And somehow Mom was acting like it was progress. I swallowed the anger because I didn't know where to put it yet. "Okay," I said, "as long as it comes back." Linda laughed. "You worry too much. It wasn't just the couch." I started noticing boxes in the garage taped shut, labeled in Linda's handwriting. I started noticing the way our joint account. And then I saw it. Not at 2:07 a.m., not in a secret text. I saw it in the one place you can't lie to a man like me. Paperwork. The college fund statement came to mail on a Thursday. I'd gotten home early from a site visit, an old duplex on the west side with a basement that smelled like damp cardboard. I was tired, my back stiff, and I did what I always do. I sorted the mail at the counter. The envelope was thin, official. Evan's name wasn't on it, but I recognized the investment company logo. I opened it. The balance was lower. Not a little lower, thousands lower. My first thought was a mistake. A computer error. Something that would get corrected. Then I saw the transaction line. Neat and merciless. Transfer out. I stood in my own kitchen, the same kitchen where Linda had smiled at dead weight, and I felt something in me shift like a joist finally snapping after too much rot. That money wasn't ours. Not in the way Linda meant it. That was Evan's future, and Linda had taken it like she was borrowing a lamp. I heard the front door open. Linda's heels clicked on the tile, sharp, confident, the sound of someone who thinks she's walking into the life she deserves. I slid the statement back into the envelope and set it down. Not because I was scared of her, because for the first time, I understood exactly what she was doing. She wasn't leaving a marriage. She was stripping a house down to the studs and planning to sell the lumber. And I wasn't going to stop her by yelling. I was going to stop her the way I stop any dangerous structure from hurting the people inside it, by letting the truth carry the weight. I didn't sleep much after that night with the bank statement. That's not the right way to put it. I slept, but the way you do in a chair at a hospital, drifting in and out, never fully letting go. Every sound in the house felt louder. The refrigerator kicking on, the wind brushing the siding. Linda's breathing beside me, steady and unconcerned. In my line of war.